Before time, before matter, before existence itself, there were only two forces: Zoe, the primordial creator, pure energy, absolute light, the origin of all life, hope, and infinite potential. She wove the stars, shaped the worlds, and planted the seed of consciousness in the void. But all creation demands balance. Negative, Zoe or N'Zoe, the necessary shadow, conscious entropy, the void that defines form. Where Zoe creates and N'Zoe destroys. Where there is light, she brings darkness, not out of malice, but by universal law. Together they forged the Nexus Universe, a cosmos where heroes and monsters coexist, where power corrupts, where choices carry weight, where the line between savior and destroyer is thinner than you imagine. Zoe watches, and N'Zoe waits. And between these two absolute forces, humanity fights to find its place. Welcome to the Nexus Universe, where every story is a battle between creation and destruction, and you're about to witness the chaos. The bullet splits the air 6 inches from her face. She doesn't flinch. The round freezes mid-flight, suspended in a shimmer of distorted space, its rotation slowing to nothing. Maya Reeves raises her palm, and the bullet reverses trajectory, punching back through the warehouse window it came from. Glass explodes inward. A scream follows. 3 more shots. She absorbs them all, feeling the kinetic energy flood into her body like liquid fire, her veins lighting up beneath her skin in electric blue traces. The power hums in her chest, begging for release. She counts to 3, an old habit, a way to stay in control, then sprints forward. Her boots hit the concrete and the stored energy detonates downward. The ground cracks beneath her feet, and she launches skyward, sailing 30 feet through the broken window. She lands in a roll between shipping crates, comes up with her fists glowing, and drives one into the nearest gunman's chest. Not hard enough to kill, just enough to send him flying backward into a stack of metal drums. The warehouse erupts into chaos. 4 more armed men emerge from behind pallets of unmarked crates. Automatic weapons, military stance. Not street thugs, these are professionals. She moves before they can aim, zigzagging between cover, each step releasing measured bursts of kinetic force that propel her forward in impossible trajectories. A bullet grazes her shoulder. She absorbs the impact, adds it to her reserves. One of them shouts something in Russian. She springs off a support pillar, twisting in mid-air, and releases a concussive wave from both hands. The shockwave catches 2 men's center mass, throwing them into the far wall hard enough to leave cracks in the concrete. They don't get up. The last 2 scatter. She pursues the one heading for the exit, closing the distance in 3 supercharged strides. He spins, wild-eyed, and empties his magazine at point-blank range. Each bullet stops an inch from her body, a constellation of frozen metal orbiting her like deadly satellites. She can feel the heat of the gunpowder, smell the cordite. Please don't make me, she thinks. He drops the gun and runs. She releases the bullets harmlessly, into the floor and lets him go. The warehouse falls silent except for the groan of wounded men and the drip of something chemical leaking from a ruptured barrel. Maya stands in the center of the space, breathing hard, the blue glow fading from her arms. Her hands are shaking. They always shake afterward. She moves to the crates the Russians were guarding, pries one open with a crowbar from the floor. Inside, nestled in foam padding, are cylinders of amber liquid, each marked with a symbol she doesn't recognize. A helix wrapped around a lightning bolt. Her stomach drops. She's seen this before. 6 months ago, in Apex City's industrial district, right before a low-level enforcer sprouted bone spikes from his arms and nearly killed a dozen cops. The substance was never identified, but NCPD classified it as a biological enhancer. Super soldier serum minus the stable part. Most subjects died. The ones who didn't turned into something worse than monsters. Her earpiece crackles. "Kinetic, you there?" Maya touches the device. "I'm here, Override." Police scanner just lit up. 6 units responding to your location. You've got maybe 90 seconds. Copy. She photographs the crates with her phone, then scans the warehouse. No computers, no manifests. These guys were smart enough not to leave a paper trail. But there's blood on the floor near where one of them fell, and that's almost as good. She collects a sample in a vial from her belt, then makes for the window. "Maya." Override's voice is tense. "Before you go, we got a hit on facial recognition from that liquor store robbery last week. The one where the guy punched through a concrete wall. And he just walked into Mercy General Hospital, 4th floor, pediatric ward. The world tilts. She grips the windowsill. Say that again. He's in the hospital right now. I'm looking at security footage. He's asking for room 412. Room 412. Maya knows that room. She's been there 3 times in the last month, bringing flowers, reading stories to a little girl named Sophie, who has leukemia and a smile that could break your heart. I'm on my way. She's moving before Override can respond, launching herself from the window and hitting the alley at a run. The stored energy in her body propels her forward in bursts, each footfall covering 20 feet. She vaults a fence, cuts through a park and emerges onto 7th Avenue just as a police cruiser screams past. Mercy General is 12 blocks north. She pushes harder, her legs burning, the city blurring around her. Pedestrians scatter. Someone shouts. She doesn't care. The hospital's white facade appears through the traffic. She angles toward the parking garage, scales the outside wall using explosive jumps between levels, and crashes through a 4th-floor window in a shower of safety glass. Nurses scream. Patients dive for cover. Maya ignores them, sprinting down the hallway toward the pediatric wing. The walls are painted with cartoon animals. Children's drawings are taped to the doors. Everything smells like antiseptic and fear. Room 412 is at the end of the hall. The door is closed. Through the small window, she sees a man standing over Sophie's bed. He's tall, muscular, dressed in a maintenance uniform that doesn't fit right. His right arm is swollen, veins bulging black beneath the skin, the hand clenched into a fist that looks capable of crushing steel. Sophie is awake, staring at him with wide, terrified eyes. Maya doesn't think. She hits the door at full speed, absorbing the impact and redirecting it into her shoulder. The door explodes inward. The man spins impossibly fast, and his fist comes around in a haymaker that would decapitate a normal person. She catches it. The force of the blow is staggering, easily 3 tons of pressure. Her bones scream. The kinetic energy floods into her body so fast it hurts, lighting her up like a star. She grits her teeth and absorbs it all, every ounce, feeling her cells stretch to contain it. The man's eyes widen. His pupils are blown, the iris is streaked with amber. "You," he rasps. "Me." She twists his arm and drives her knee into his stomach, releasing a fraction of the stored energy. He doubles over, gasping. She follows with an elbow to his spine, dropping him to the floor. But he doesn't stay down. His body convulses, muscles rippling, and he surges upward with inhuman strength. Sophie screams. Maya positions herself between them. "Sophie, close your eyes." The little girl obeys, burying her face in her pillow. The man charges. Maya plants her feet and releases everything she's stored in one concentrated burst. A shockwave that catches him center mass and sends him hurtling backward through the hospital wall. Drywall and concrete explode. He tumbles out into open air, falling 4 stories into the parking lot below. Alarms shriek. Maya rushes to the window, looks down. The man is climbing to his feet, barely injured, his body already healing from the impact. He looks up at her, and for just a second his expression isn't rage or madness, it's fear. Then he runs, disappearing between parked cars. Maya turns back to Sophie. The little girl is shaking, tears streaming down her face. "It's okay," Maya says, moving to her side. "He's gone. You're safe." "Kinetic." Sophie's voice is tiny. "Yeah, kiddo. It's me. Why did he want to hurt me?" Maya has no answer. She takes Sophie's hand, feels how fragile it is, how small. The girl's medical chart is clipped to the bed. Stage 3 leukemia, poor prognosis, awaiting donor match. A child who's already fighting for her life. And now this. Security guards burst into the room, guns drawn. Maya raises her hands, steps back. "I'm not the threat." One of them recognizes her. "Kinetic. NCPD said to bring you in. Make it fast." She looks at Sophie one last time. "Stay brave, okay?" The little girl nods. They lead her out in handcuffs, an unnecessary precaution, but she understands. The 4th floor is a disaster zone. There are injured staff, traumatized patients, and a hole in the wall the size of a truck. She'll have to answer for that. In the elevator, her earpiece crackles. Override's voice is distorted, barely audible. "Maya." I traced the man's identity. His name is Sergei Volkov, former Spetsnaz. No known connections to Apex City until 3 weeks ago. What does he want with Sophie? I don't know yet. But I pulled hospital records. Sophie's mother works for Helix Dynamics. Maya's blood runs cold. Helix Dynamics, the symbol from the crates, the amber serum. Her mother is Dr. Elena Park, Override continues, lead researcher in their genetics division. And Maya, according to her employee file, she quit 2 days ago. Filed a police report claiming Helix was conducting illegal experiments. The report was buried. The elevator doors open to the ground floor. Cops are waiting. Maya steps out, but her mind is elsewhere, connecting pieces of a puzzle that's suddenly much bigger than a warehouse full of serum. Dr. Park tried to blow the whistle. Helix sent someone to her daughter. A message. Where is Dr. Park now? Maya asks quietly. Unknown. She didn't go home. Her apartment is empty, phone off. She's gone dark. The lead cop, a sergeant Maya recognizes from previous encounters, approaches. Kinetic. We need to talk. I need to talk to someone too. She looks him dead in the eye. Get me Director Vance. Tell him I know what Helix Dynamics is doing. Tell him they're making monsters, and they're about to make a lot more. The sergeant hesitates, then nods to his partner, who pulls out a radio. Maya stands there, surrounded by armed officers in a hospital lobby, while above her a little girl with leukemia lies in a room with a hole in the wall, and somewhere in the city a doctor is running for her life, and a man with an amber-infected arm is probably getting ready to try again. The Nexus Universe just got more complicated, and Maya Reeves is about to discover that stopping bullets is the easy part. Maya sits across from Director Marcus Vance, watching him review the photos she took at the warehouse. He's in his 50s, grey at the temples with the kind of weathered face that comes from decades of dealing with things that shouldn't exist. Behind him stands Agent Chen, younger, sharper, her hand resting near her sidearm. Vance slides the photos back across the table. Helix Dynamics is a legitimate biotech company. Government contracts. Cutting-edge medical research. They're making super soldiers. That's a serious accusation, Maya leans forward. Sergei Volkov had the same symptoms as the test subjects from 6 months ago. Enhanced strength, accelerated healing, psychological instability. He was after Dr. Elena Park's daughter. Park worked for Helix, filed a report about illegal experiments, and now she's disappeared. You want to tell me that's a coincidence? Chen speaks up. Dr. Park's report was reviewed by the appropriate authorities. No evidence of wrongdoing was found, because someone buried it. Maya's hands are still cuffed to the table, but she feels energy building in her palms, a reflexive response to stress. She forces it down. How much is Helix paying you to look the other way? Vance's expression doesn't change. Agent Chen, give us the room. Chen hesitates, then leaves, closing the door behind her. The director waits until her footsteps fade. I don't like you, Kinetic. You're a vigilante who operates outside the law, causes property damage, and makes my job harder. But you're not stupid, and neither am I. He pulls a file from his briefcase, sets it between them. This is classified. If you repeat anything I'm about to tell you, I'll have you in a federal cell so deep you'll never see daylight. Maya says nothing. Vance opens the file. Inside are surveillance photos of a facility. Industrial, windowless, surrounded by fencing. 3 months ago, DARPA shut down a black site research program called Project Ascension. The goal was to create enhanced soldiers using a gene modification serum. The program failed. 90% mortality rate. The survivors were unstable. Helix, Maya says, was one of several contractors involved. When DARPA pulled the plug, Helix's CEO, Victor Cross, claimed all samples were destroyed. He provided documentation, passed inspections. Vance taps a photo. But 2 weeks ago, an informant told us Helix never stopped. They moved the research offshore, refined the process, and they started human trials. Let me guess, Dr. Park was part of that team. She was the lead geneticist, until she discovered that the test subjects weren't volunteers. Vance's jaw tightens. Helix has been abducting people. Homeless, undocumented immigrants, anyone who wouldn't be missed. Using them as guinea pigs. Maya feels sick. How many? We don't know. Park claimed at least 30 before she ran. We've been trying to locate her, but Cross has resources, private security, political connections. He's insulated, so you need someone expendable. Maya meets his eyes. Someone who can get into places you can't. Break rules you can't break. I need someone who gives a damn about stopping this before Apex City turns into a war zone. You've seen what one enhanced subject can do. Imagine 20, 50. Vance slides a business card across the table. This is Park's last known contact, a burner phone that went dead yesterday. But before it did, she sent a message. Just 3 words, they're coming tonight. Coming where? We don't know. But I think she's going to try to destroy Helix's research. All of it. Which means going back to wherever they're manufacturing the serum. He unlocks her cuffs. Find her before Cross does. Get evidence we can use. And maybe save some lives in the process. Maya rubs her wrists. What about Sophie? She's under protective custody. 4 agents, panic room, the works. Cross won't get near her. He already did. He won't again. Vance stands. You have 24 hours. After that, I bring in tactical teams and we storm whatever facility we can find. But that means Cross will see us coming, destroy evidence and walk away clean. Your way is messier. But it might work. Maya takes the card. The number is handwritten, smudged. If I do this, I want immunity for Park. Full witness protection. New identity. Done. And Helix goes down. Publicly. Trials, prison, everything. That's what I'm hoping for. Vance heads for the door, pauses. One more thing. The serum they're using, it's not just about strength or healing. The latest version does something else. Something we don't fully understand. Park's notes mention psychological integration, memory transfer. We think they're trying to create perfect soldiers who can absorb combat experience instantly. Jesus. Find Park. Stop Cross. Don't die. Vance leaves. Maya sits alone for a moment, processing. Then she touches her earpiece. Override, you get all that? Every word. I'm already tracking the burner phone's last known location. Tower pings put it near the docks. Industrial sector. Lots of abandoned buildings. Send me coordinates. Maya. If Cross has enhanced soldiers guarding Park, you're walking into a kill box. Then I'll walk fast. She leaves through a side exit, avoiding the press that's gathered outside. News vans, reporters, cameras, another Kinetic incident, another media circus. She ignores them and heads for the rooftops, using controlled bursts to leap between buildings. The city sprawls below. Glittering in the dusk, Apex City, her home. The place she's protected for 3 years since the particle accelerator accident that gave her these powers. Sometimes she still feels like a fraud. Like she's playing hero in a world that needs real ones. But tonight there's no time for doubt. The docks appear through the haze, cranes silhouetted against the harbor, shipping containers stacked like Tetris blocks. Override guides her to an abandoned fish processing plant at the water's edge. The windows are boarded, but fresh tire tracks mar the gravel parking lot. Maya lands in the shadows, senses alert. No visible guards, but that doesn't mean they're not there. She approaches the main entrance, tests the door. Locked. She places her palm against it, releases a concentrated burst. The lock shatters. Inside, the plant is gutted. Rusted machinery, pools of stagnant water, graffiti on the walls. But there's a light on in the back office. And voices. Maya moves silently, absorbing the sound of her footsteps. She reaches the office door, peers through a cracked window. Dr. Elena Park is inside, working frantically at a laptop. She's in her 40s, exhausted, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. On the desk beside her are stacks of hard drives and documents. No guards. Too easy. Maya pushes the door open. Park spins, grabbing a scalpel from the desk, her hand shaking. Dr. Park, I'm here to help, Zaz. Who are you? They call me Kinetic. Director Vance sent me. Park doesn't lower the scalpel. How do I know you're not working for Cross? If I was, you'd already be dead. Maya keeps her hands visible. Your daughter is safe. Protected custody. But Cross will try again, and you're the only one who can stop him. Park's face crumples. Sophie, is she okay? Scared, but okay. The man who went after her, Sergei Volkov. I stopped him. Sergei. Park sinks into a chair. He was one of the early successes. Enhanced reflexes. Bone density increased by 400%. But the psychological integration never took. He started having violent episodes. Cross kept dosing him anyway, trying to stabilize the formula. What is the formula? What's Helix really making? Park gestures at the laptop. Victor Cross believes humanity is on the brink of extinction. Climate collapse, resource wars, societal breakdown. He thinks we need to evolve or die. So he's trying to force evolution. The serum doesn't just enhance the body, it rewrites genetic code. Makes people stronger, faster, smarter. But it also changes who they are. Memories get scrambled, personality fragmentations. They become someone else. Maya feels cold. How many people has he done this to? 43 test subjects. 11 survived the initial transformation. The rest, Park's voice breaks. They died screaming. And the survivors? Cross calls them Ascendants. He's building an army, private military contractors, foreign governments. He's selling enhanced soldiers to the highest bidder. In 2 days, he's shipping 12 Ascendants to a buyer in Eastern Europe. After that, the technology spreads. We won't be able to stop it. Maya crouches beside her. Where's Cross manufacturing the serum? There's a facility beneath Helix headquarters, sub-level 5 behind a biometric lock. I have the access codes, but I can't get past security. You won't have to. Maya stands. We're going to upload everything you have to the FBI, then I'm going in alone. You don't understand. Cross knows I took the data. He's been hunting me for 2 days. He'll be expecting... The window explodes inward. Maya spins, absorbing shattered glass in midair, and sees a figure crouching in the frame. Female, late 20s, wearing tactical gear, but her skin is mottled with black veins, her eyes glowing amber. Another Ascendant, Dr. Park, the woman says, her voice eerily calm. Mr. Cross wants his property back. 3 more Ascendants drop through the ceiling, landing in perfect formation. They move with predatory precision, circling. Maya pushes Park behind her, feeling kinetic energy build in her core. Last chance to walk away, Maya says. The female Ascendant smiles. You're the one they call Kinetic. Cross is very interested in you. He thinks your powers are natural mutation. Something we could replicate. Tell Cross he can submit a formal request, or we take you apart and find out. They attack simultaneously. 4 enhanced soldiers moving with synchronized brutality. Maya releases a shockwave that catches 2 of them, but the others dodge inhumanly fast. The female one closes the distance in a heartbeat, her fist slamming into Maya's ribs. The impact would shatter concrete. Maya absorbs it barely, and counters with an uppercut that sends the woman through the office wall. The other 3 swarm her. Fists, elbows, kicks, a storm of violence. She absorbs what she can, deflects the rest, but there are too many. One of them grabs Park, lifts her like she weighs nothing. No, Maya releases everything, a kinetic explosion that blasts the Ascendants away. The building shudders. Walls crack. Park scrambles free, clutching the laptop. Go, I'll upload the files. Maya doesn't argue. She charges the nearest Ascendant, a massive man with arms like tree trunks, and drives her glowing fist into his chest. He staggers but doesn't fall. His hand shoots out, grabbing her throat. You're strong, he says. But you're alone. Story of my life. She channels kinetic force through his grip up his arm into his shoulder. Bones crack. He roars, releases her. She follows with a spinning kick that sends him through the wall. Behind her, Park is at the laptop, fingers flying. The upload bar appears. 34%. The female Ascendant returns, blood streaming from her nose, her smile wider. This is fun. They clash again, trading blows that echo like thunder. Maya's body is reaching its limit. She can only store so much energy before it starts tearing her apart from the inside. Her skin is glowing electric blue, veins standing out, heart hammering. 8% uploaded. 2 more Ascendants emerge from the shadows. 6 total now. They've been holding back, testing her. Park screams. Maya turns and sees Victor Cross step through the shattered doorway. He's in his 60s, silver-haired, immaculate, in a tailored suit despite the carnage around him. In his hand is a remote. Dr. Park, he says pleasantly. I believe you have something that belongs to me. Upload complete, the laptop chimes. Park hits enter. Cross presses the button. The building explodes. Maya doesn't remember the first 5 seconds after the explosion. Just heat, pressure, darkness. Then she's underwater. She must have been thrown clear through the wall and into the harbor. Her lungs scream. She kicks toward the surface, breaks through gasping, and sees the fish processing plant engulfed in flames. Debris rains into the water. The entire structure is collapsing. Park. Maya dives back under, swimming toward the inferno. The water glows orange. Wreckage blocks her path. Twisted metal, shattered concrete. She pushes through, her enhanced strength letting her move obstacles that would stop anyone else. Her chest burns. Vision darkens at the edges. There. A figure floating in the murk, unconscious. Maya grabs Park and kicks for the surface. They break through 20 feet from the shore. Maya drags the doctor onto a floating dock, checks for a pulse. Weak, but there. Park coughs up water, her eyes fluttering open. "Sophie," she whispers. "Safe, you uploaded the files." "Yes, FBI has everything." Behind them, the building groans and collapses inward, sending a wave across the harbor. No sign of Cross or the Ascendants. Either they escaped or they're buried. Maya helps Park to her feet. They stumble away from the docks, finding an alley where they can hide. Maya calls override. "I'm here," her friend says immediately. "I saw the explosion." "Are you alive?" "Barely. Park's with me." "Did the files upload?" "Checking now." A pause. "Yes, 12 gigabytes of data just hit the FBI server. Genetic sequences, test subject records, facility locations. This is... Jesus, Maya, this is everything." "Good. Tell Vance we need extraction. He's already mobilizing tactical teams." "But Maya, there's a problem. I'm monitoring Helix communications. Cross survived. He evacuated before the explosion. And he's accelerating his timeline." Maya's stomach sinks. "What timeline?" "The shipment to Eastern Europe. It's leaving tonight." "Not in 2 days, tonight. 12 Ascendants on a cargo plane departing from a private airfield in 40 minutes. Park grabs Maya's arm. "If those soldiers reach their buyers, Helix's technology goes global. Cross will have plausible deniability. We'll never stop him." Maya looks at the burning docks, then at Park's exhausted, desperate face. Every muscle in her body aches. She's pushed her powers to the edge. One more fight might kill her. "Where's the airfield?" she asks, override sighs. "Sending coordinates now." "North Industrial Zone." "But Maya, even if you get there in time, you'll be facing 12 enhanced soldiers, plus Cross's private security. You can't win that fight. I don't have to win. I just have to stop that plane." She turns to Park. "Stay here. Vance's people will find you. Make sure Sophie gets the protection she needs. What about you?" Maya manages a smile. "I'm going to do something stupid." She runs before Park can argue, launching herself from the alley with stored kinetic energy. The city blurs past. She's drawing on reserves she doesn't have, burning through her limits. Her body protests with every burst, but she pushes harder. The airfield appears after 8 minutes of desperate sprinting, a stretch of tarmac surrounded by warehouses, lit by floodlights. A massive cargo plane sits on the runway, engines already spooling up. Figures move around it, loading equipment. Maya doesn't slow down. She hits the perimeter fence at full speed, absorbing the impact and redirecting it downward, vaulting the 20-foot barrier. Alarms shriek. Guards scramble. She lands on the tarmac and releases a shockwave that knocks the nearest security team off their feet. More guards appear, firing. She absorbs the bullets, feeling each one add to the inferno building in her core. Too much. Way too much. She's going to burn out. The cargo plane's ramp starts closing. Maya sprints for it. An Ascendant steps into her path, the same massive man from the fish plant, his shoulder now braced with a metal support. He swings at her with enough force to crush a car. She ducks under, channels kinetic force into a palm strike to his ribs and feels something give. He stumbles. She vaults over him. The ramp is almost closed. She leaps, catches the edge, and pulls herself into the cargo bay. Inside, 12 Ascendants turn to face her. They're strapped into harnesses along the walls, surrounded by equipment crates. Perfect soldiers, eyes glowing amber, expressions blank. At the front of the bay, Victor Cross stands beside a control panel, still impossibly calm. "Kinetic," he says. "You're persistent." "I respect that." Maya stands, fists glowing. "Tell your pilots to land this plane." "Or what? You'll fight 12 enhanced soldiers in an enclosed space? You're powerful, but you're not invincible." Cross gestures and the Ascendants unbuckle, moving to surround her. "I've studied you. Your abilities have limits. You can absorb kinetic energy, but you can only store so much before your body breaks down. And you've been fighting all night." He's right. She can feel her cells reaching saturation, energy bleeding through her skin in electric arcs. One more major release might tear her apart, but she doesn't need to fight them all. She just needs to stop the plane. Maya looks past Cross to the cockpit door. The pilots are visible through the window, checking instruments. If she can reach them, the Ascendants attack. She absorbs the first wave, redirecting their force into the floor. The plane shudders. An alarm sounds. The Ascendants come again, faster, coordinated. She fights desperately, dodging, absorbing, releasing minimal bursts, trying to conserve energy, trying to stay alive. One of them gets through her defense, a crushing blow to her spine. She goes down, gasping. They pile on, fists like hammers. She can't absorb it all. Bones crack. Through the pain, she sees Cross watching, clinical, studying her, learning. Enough, he says. The Ascendants stop. Maya lies broken on the floor, blood in her mouth. Cross approaches, crouches beside her. You could have been part of something greater, he says. Humanity's next step. Instead, you cling to the old ways. Morality, justice, noble concepts, but ultimately meaningless. The strong survive. The weak adapt or die. Maya coughs blood. Philosophical. For a psychopath, visionary, history will decide. Cross stands. Kill her. Make it quick. An Ascendant raises his fist for the final blow. Maya smiles. Override now. The cargo bay door explodes outward. The decompression is instant. Air screams from the plane. Equipment rips free. The Ascendants, caught off guard, tumble toward the opening. Cross grabs a support strut, holding on. Maya releases every ounce of stored energy in a directed blast at the cockpit door. The door tears free. The pilots lose control. The plane banks hard, tilting almost vertical. Maya slides toward the open bay, catches a cargo net, and sees Ascendants falling into the night sky below. They're not high enough for it to kill them, maybe 50 feet, but they're out of the fight. Cross is still holding on, fury on his face. You'll die too. Probably. Maya pulls herself toward him, hand over hand. The wind is a hurricane. Her body is breaking down, glowing too bright. But you're coming with me. She reaches him. He tries to fight. She absorbs his desperate blows, adds them to her reserves, and wraps her arms around him. Then she lets go of the net. They fall together, tumbling through open air. The ground rushes up. Maya tucks Cross against her chest and releases everything. Every joule of kinetic energy she stored. A final explosion directed downward. They hit the ground like a meteor. The impact crater is 20 feet wide. Maya lies at the bottom, barely conscious. Above her, the cargo plane spirals out of control, crashing into an empty field a mile away. Sirens wail in the distance. She can't move, can't breathe. Her body is shutting down, but Cross isn't moving either. He's sprawled beside her, neck at an unnatural angle, eyes staring at nothing. Dead. Footsteps approach. Director Vance appears at the crater's edge, looking down at her with an expression somewhere between horror and respect. Ambulance is coming, he says. Maya tries to respond. Can't. The world fades. She wakes in a hospital bed 3 days later. Vance is there reviewing a tablet. He looks up when she stirs. Welcome back. You've been out for 72 hours. Doctors said you should be dead. Multiple fractures, internal bleeding, organ damage. But your body is healing at an accelerated rate. Side effect of your powers, apparently. Maya's throat is dry. Park? Witness protection, new identity. She and Sophie are safe. They're somewhere warm, I'm told. Vance sets down the tablet. Cross is dead. The Ascendants we captured are in federal custody. Helix Dynamics is being dismantled as we speak. Thanks to Park's files, we've identified every facility, every contractor, every buyer. This is the biggest biotech scandal in U.S. history. The other Ascendants? Still out there. Maybe 11 survivors from the plane crash. They scattered. We'll find them eventually. Vance stands. You did good work, Kinetic. Reckless, borderline suicidal, but effective. The FBI wants to offer you a consulting position. Superhuman Threats Division. Maya closes her eyes. I work better alone. Figured you'd say that. Vance heads for the door. But the offer stands, and Maya? There are more people like you out there. Enhanced, modified, mutated. The Nexus Universe is getting crowded. Might be time to stop working alone. He leaves. Maya lies there, listening to machines beep, feeling her body knit itself back together. Through the window, she can see Apex City's skyline, glittering in the afternoon sun. Somewhere out there, 11 enhanced soldiers are planning their next move. Somewhere else, other threats are emerging. Vance is right. She can't do this alone forever. But for now, she'll rest, heal. And when she's ready, she'll get back out there because someone has to. Her phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. You stopped Cross, but you didn't stop the idea. Others will try. When they do, you'll need allies. A friend. Maya stares at the message, then deletes it. But she doesn't forget it. The Nexus Universe just opened up, and Maya Reeves, Kinetic, is only beginning to understand what that means.